Hey, what's going on, everybody? Michael with Michigan Tropicals. Today, I want to take you guys around the store and show you guys what we have in stock at the moment. Sorry, I'm kind of congested. Been dealing with this for a little bit now, so I'm all good. Everything's good. So, let's take you over here and show you some of these beautiful betas. The lights do absolutely no justice for these guys. There we go. Show us your good side. There you go. Can't see it on the camera, but there's a lot of purple and lots of good colors on these guys. Little frog we specially ordered for somebody. We have Blue Dream 5 packs, so the driftwood and the plants don't come with it, but there is 5 Blue Dreams. It's much easier to scoop them out of here than catch them in the net and whatnot. So we do a little bit of a deal on them, $24.99 for 5. Got the American flag, who's looking gorgeous as ever. Get the white female. Got copper, marble copper. Let's see here. These guys are so pretty. This camera does not do any justice whatsoever. Hello, Jeff. How are you? All right, and then for that, this is most of our betas in the beta rack. We do have more betas around the store. I'm going to show you our Doitsu Dragon Scale Platinum Koi. Absolutely beautiful fish. We have one snowflake moray eel left. Awesome, awesome. Drive safe, Jeff. We have a snow white discus. We still have some more of the panda red tail catfish. Metalhead. I don't know how it just happened. It's very weird. We have some long-nosed gar. These are Northern American long-nosed gar. We got another one there. This guy's more marble. He's gorgeous. So cool. And what's crazy too is we got these all in at the same time, and the color variations are so much different. Like, whereas this one is also like kind of spotted. I know you couldn't. This one's green. He's like a green hue to him. But the one next to him is more tan. So pretty unique, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So this is the first time going Facebook Live, YouTube Live off of the YouTube channel itself. I didn't use StreamYard this time, which is a little bit different for me because it's giving me a little bit different. It's giving me a little bit different camera angles and zooming effects. So all the tanks are just about filled. So in this tank, we got the Buenos Aires. We got a crazy reflection. That was you. Yes, it was, Josh. It's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So this was kind of a weird experiment. So in this tank, because we have so many fish at any given time, we accidentally added 2 male betas to this tank. And the crazy thing is they have been getting along like best friends, honestly. Like, this guy's down here for now, and this guy's up here. But in 2 minutes, you'll see him come up and swim next to this. And they are both guaranteed males. They've already been checked. My breeder even took a look at them and confirmed they're both males. But we got some Buenos Aires tetras, some bloodfin tetras. I think we still have the Farlowella catfish in there. We have autocinkless. We have the gold barbs. We have next tank over, the amazing King Tiger. Looks like we got one lonely rummy nose tetra left with some neon tetras. Got a Cory cat swimming in the back there. We've got a boatload of albino bristlenose still. There's probably 100 in there, even though it doesn't look like it. And what I'm going to do to prove it to you, I'm going to come over here and grab some food. We'll give them some algae pellets. I'm going to drop in some food for you and give them literally 5 minutes. We'll continue on for just a second and I'll come back. So let's drop some of them in there. I'll do a little bit more because some of the other fish are eating them. All right, so we'll come back to that in about 5 minutes. Actually, I'll just bring this with me because I'm going to give these snails some. We got a decent selection of mystery snails, blue, ivory. We have the basic brown. We have some magentas. We got a little bit of everything when it comes towards colors. We still have a decent amount of albino Cory cats, snakeskin barbs, one of my favorite barbs of all time. I wish this camera would be a little bit more clear. There we go. Snakeskin barbs are so freaking cool. Giant Daniels are already sold. There's some super reds and some lemon drops in here. People get confused when I say lemon drop. They think of the albino or the albino blue eye bristlenose. But I'm going to elaborate for you on what I call a lemon drop and why I call it a lemon drop. So it's a common bristlenose, but it's heavily spotted. In my opinion, that is a lemon drop. It's what I've been calling them for years. And it makes a lot of sense. We got the Rio Paraguay bristlenose. Such a cool fish. What kind of beta? Oh man, this beta, I am surprised he's made it a week here. So he is an all black, even though he's got a lot of color in him. He was 100% jet black probably about a week ago. And now he's starting to get a little bit of blue in him, a little bit of copper. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous betta. Very happy to have such a good looking source of betas, which a lot of them are homebred. And we have a breeder here locally that breeds them for us. Got some nearite snails if you're looking. We have a couple angelfish left in this tank, a couple angelfish left in this tank. These tanks look really, really grimy on this, but they're really not that bad in person. So I don't know what in the world's going on here. We have the infamous AH. He's the one who jumps out and gives me today, but we'll give her the old college try. Come on, buddy. You gonna do it? You gonna do it? Come on. No? You want to? No? Okay. He is had him since an egg. He's my buddy. He's my pet. I've had a lot of options or a lot of opportunities to sell him, but I won't do it. So let me take you guys over to the 400 gallon really quick. Give you a little update in person. Sorry if that fan's blowing some wind, but there's the 2.5 foot silver arowana, almost 3 foot alligator gar. We got the red tails, clown knives. Probably one of the big old clown knife. He's over here pouting. And then down below, we don't have a light at the moment. And we have the phantom red tail. He is just about as large as, until it comes down and goes, this is 3 feet. It's going to go 10 feet. We're going to have to move some stuff around to make it work. But it'll be just about 8 feet long. It will be 3 foot tall. And it will be 10 feet approximately deep. And I have the glass. Thank you for Jason who's probably going to watch this. Thank you for helping me move that. That was awesome. So I have tank. There's like a rusty there. So our African cichlid tanks have dwindled down a little bit because of the amount of Africans we've been getting in. But we've got some. These are actually looking yellow on the screen. These are actually red zebras. And then we have this, some more red zebras. This tank I've purposely neglected because there's literally so many fry in this tank that I'm afraid to suck them up. So I leave it, and we scrub the glass once every couple days. Are all tinted. We won't have this issue as bad anymore. Nope, it's not just you. So these right here, these are haplochromis. They're hap. The scientific name is unknown at the moment. We were trying to figure it out. I knew at one point, but I lost it in my phone. I lost what the actual name is. But these are similar to the Christmas fulu, and they're also similar to the Eastern hap, but that's not what these guys are. They're another species of it. There's tons of species, so I got to figure out what they were. But there's another fry of them right there. These two here that look the same. Those are also haps. Here is the panda red tails. We have some up here still for sale. You guys are doing good. Very, very nice looking. And then we have a little bit of an assorted African tank here. Blue Socolify, some red zebras. That tank is now empty after today. Some baby blue Texas. These guys are still small, still growing up. Snow white polar parrots. Blue polar parrots. Actually sold this guy today. This is our guy we had at Aquashella. He sold today. He's actually only going a couple doors down, which is pretty awesome that I'll get to see him whenever I want. We have one lemon Oscar left. Oh, well, I got you guys. This is our breeding pair of Oscars we've had for a while. These guys are the infamous ones in our short that are breeding on the slate and always screaming. So we still got those guys. We need to say hi to Jambo. You say hi, Jambo? Say hi. Hi, buddy. He's excited to go into the 400 gallon. He'll be going into the 400 gallon soon. We're going to move the tank where the gar are at and put the 400 there. Right there. So that will be moved. The top tank will most likely go, the frag tank will most likely go underneath the 1500 gallon. And then this will go into the back for Jambo. So he'll have 400 gallons to himself, maybe a couple other fish. We'll have to test that out because it is always wishy-washy with puffers on what they will like and dislike. Of course, we got our friend Corey on the screen. Thanks again for all the hospitality that you gave us in Aquashella, Chicago. As every time we see you, you're always extremely nice, so I appreciate that. We have this awesome little cube. I'm debating on if I want to polish it and use it. We were going to put Jambo in this for the time being, but why set this up for a very little bit of time and then move him to the 400? So it's easier just to put him in this and call it a day. Just put him right in the 400. So some tanks that we got done. We have some United Firehorn Association shirts still available. This is probably one of my favorites. Gotta love the red, white, and blue. To all you jokesters out there, it's got a flower horn on it. Got one of our Chicago shirts. Black back. Most of these have black backs. This is the only one that has the logo in the front and then the back. My favorite shirt. I love that shirt. Handmade caves. Got this style. It's made out of like a soapstone style. And then we have some homemade baked ones from a local guy now baking them, which I need to hit him up for some more of them. Thank you, Ben. We have some Aquarium Co-op sponges, LG scrubbers, LG sponges left. Our dry goods is looking pretty pathetic right now, but it is what it is. We're about to be extremely busy soon, so this will all be refilled back up with a bunch of Aquarium Co-op stuff, with our extreme stuff, and Seachem stuff. So we're pretty excited for that. Still have some meds in stock, some banquet feeders. Got to restock back up on our nets. Hey Dave, how you going? How's it going? Hope everybody's enjoying the night. It is Wednesday. We are halfway over the hump for the week. Today is my first day. So we are closed Mondays and Tuesdays, open Wednesday through Sunday. So today is my first day back to work, which it's been rough. I had some sinus issues I've been dealing with, which have been really crappy. My son's been dealing with them too. So we haven't been able to get around and do the things that we needed to do. I wanted to have a video out already, but I wasn't able to do so. Let me take you, oh yeah, let's show you guys some of the merch that we got from Chicago, from some of our friends here. We've got, whoa, get my ugly face out of here. There we go. Rodrigo, we got a shirt from him. He was not in Chicago, but he did give that to us in one of the shipments. Got Jason, Primetime Aquatics. Corey from Crime Co-op. Did get him to sign the turtle. Lucas Bretz. I got that from you in Orlando. Then I do have our awesome crayfish of Michigan. Bet you wish you had that, don't you, Metalhead? This is sick. There's some species missing on here that are invasive, but it's still cool to have and see. And for those of you who missed it, here's the gar. These are long nose. These are available. They can restock up at any time, really. So I think there's 5 of them in here. We'll come over and see T'Challa. Where are you at, T'Challa? Oh, there you are. Here is T'Challa. T'Challa is the Black Panther. That's where he got his name from. A little baby monster just waiting to be 3 foot. I bet you if Joe Rockwell was watching this right now, he would be just letting me have it with how he felt. Right? Well, hey, I'm going to get you a bigger tank. Bigger tanks they're not dispensable, but we can find them or have them built. We've been building plywood tanks now for a little while. We're finishing up on a few that we had prepaid for. This right here is a 400-gallon plywood tank, so that's very feasible. They don't really cost all that much. In between, depending on how you want it done, in between $1,500 and $2,500 for a complete setup is not a bad price for something that you get a glass front and is strong and secure. I sleep at night with this thing. I mean, I watched the big gar in here. He was eating I think I fed him a treat. I think I fed him some feeders. And he smacked the glass so hard, I literally, my heart stopped. I was like, this is it. Tank's done. It's over with. There's no way this gar just hit this tank so hard and it's going to be fine. And that's been months and months and months ago that it happened. So Needless to say, half-inch tempered glass is by far strong enough for a 400-gallon tank. So when we do the 1,500-gallon, I'm doing the same exact style setup, except for it's going to be half-inch glass that is laminated with half-inch glass. So it'll be technically 1-inch thick tempered laminated glass, front and back. And then I'm doing half-inch tempered along the sides. But the reason why I can get away with thinner glass on the sides is they're much smaller. They're only, I think, 22 inches by almost 3 feet long. So I'll have 3 viewing panels on each side, along with 1 big viewing panel on the front, 1 big viewing panel on the back. We are doing a complete open top, so everything up top up here will all be open. We're going to run a net from the face of the tank. Get this camera angle a little better. So we're going to run a net from the face of the tank all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to have a really big piece of driftwood, which will actually be the root ball with the trunk of the tree that come up to the ceiling. And you can see these 2 ceiling panels here. These will be removed, and I'll be installing full spectrum LEDs here, so that way I can take my beautiful pothos right here. This is all going to be put in the tree, and that light will actually feed this plant, along with a little bit of aquarium co-op easy green and the nutrients from that water, because that water is going to be, it's going to house the monsters. So those things, I can only imagine the pothos in that tank right now. I bet you it would just be twice the size. And I did see a comment about acrylic isn't better, I think is what it said. But to do something like this, for this size, in my experience, and to what I've heard and been told, yeah, you can grow them from tank to tank. You can start off from, like for these phantoms or these panda red tails, you could probably start them off in like a 55, but you'll be moving up to a 75 relatively quickly. So it's easier to just start with, like, say, a 75-gallon tank, which is a 4-foot platform, and then move up to a 6-foot platform, which could be 100-gallon long, 125-gallon long, 150-gallon long if possible. The only thing you're gaining with the 6-foot tanks going bigger up to like the 180 is that they're all going to be 6 foot. They're all going to be 18 inches front to back. They're just going to be taller and taller as you get more gallons until you hit 180. Once you hit 180, you're still 6 foot, but now you're 2 foot front to back and you're 2 foot tall. Which a 180 for a red tail, I mean, you're probably looking at like a year and a half, maybe 2 years at the most. And you're going to want something even bigger because they do grow pretty quick. A 29 gallon and a 55. So, I mean, you could go 55. They're for sale right now in a 29 gallon. And I've watched substantial growth since I've had these things for maybe a month. I've literally watched them grow easily an inch and twice as wide. So they will need to be either purchased soon or upgraded soon. So they'll most likely hit a 75 gallon in the back where T'Challa's at. Probably switch the koi out because we can put the koi in something different. But back to my acrylic versus glass when it comes towards this. Acrylic is much harder to get a seal to the wood because acrylic doesn't allow silicone to stick like glass does. You could put a bead of silicone on glass, and once it's fully cured, you got to use a razor blade to practically pick it up. It does not stick. It does not stick to glass like it does to acrylic. So my whole worry would be is the seal. You'd have to run some sort of a clamping device or some elaborate bolt system that went through the acrylic into the frame. And To get it to look nice, you'd have to put a piece of trim over top of the bolts with some sort of like a lag bolt or something that you could recess in a little bit. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's definitely possible. But for me, the silicone, it adheres to glass much better, which is meaning that it's going to adhere to the pond armor, and it's going to create a nice seal like we need. Unless you were to do a full acrylic build, that would be amazing, but the amount of acrylic that you would need and the price that it would be, the amount of time it's going to take for sanding and polishing, it's just not worth it for me, because I like to do DIY projects. It's a lot of fun. How's it going, Eric? Good to see you in here, buddy. Acrylic is much more time consuming and more difficult to build from scratch, to whereas if you're building a plywood tank, you make a mess up, you just toss over a 2x4, recut another one. Or if you messed up your plywood by a half an inch, just run a half an inch off of it, and you could easily run a filler, fiberglass it in, sand it, coat it up with some pond armor, and you're done. You're not going to see the imperfections with wood like you will acrylic. Plus, I don't know about you, but I don't know how I would feel about cutting an $800 piece of acrylic and be off by a half an inch. Like, that would suck so bad, especially if you had to just pitch the whole piece and buy a whole nother piece. That's what would suck if I was doing it and it was in my shoes. I leave that stuff to the professionals that have the jigs, that have the routers, the CNC machines. I would rather pay somebody $2, $3 grand, $4 grand to build a big tank and have it look beautiful. But being that I'm in a store where I see a couple hundred people a week, easy, couple hundred people, there's probably 50 kids within that 100 people or 200 people. And the biggest thing is kids like to touch, and kids have pendants on their coats and buttons and stuff. And the last thing I would want after setting up a $5,000-$6,000 tank is to have a kid walk across and rub their hand across the acrylic and put a huge scratch down the side of it. Whereas with glass, that's a lot less likely. Even knowing there's signs that say, please don't touch glass, please do not tap glass. It doesn't matter. Kids can't, a lot of kids that are younger, they're not going to know what they're looking at. They're not going to know how to read. And the kids that do, some of them they don't listen, and that's totally understandable. They're kids. So I went with tempered glass. You could literally hit tempered glass with a sledgehammer as hard as you want, at half an inch in the center. As long as it's well supported and it's well in there, you're not going to break that glass. I mean, I'm sure there's been many people who have punched a window in the side of the car as hard as they possibly can, and it didn't break. Or you've hit it with a hammer and it didn't break. Threw a cinder block at it and it didn't break. It barely even leaves a little scratch. That is tempered glass that's in a well-secured frame. And it's like that thick. Now, if you can imagine half-inch thick, which is that's half my finger, half my thickness of my first little knuckle there, my finger. That is so strong that I had somebody telling me that half-inch thick tempered glass has over 2,200 pounds per square inch of strength. And when you think of it, okay, per square inch, that's not that much, but it's actually a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. That's a 1 inch square. Right, no. 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, sorry. So a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square is 1 solid square inch, I believe. So it takes a lot of force to be able to get that tank to give, and that's just 1/2 inch. I'm laminating the fronts and the backs because they're going to be over 7 feet long. Going to be 7.5 feet long panes of glass that are almost 3 foot tall. So that's why I chose to laminate the front and the back, just to give it that 1 inch thickness. When you walk in, that's the first thing you see. When you walk in, if there's kids wrestling and goofing off and they come blaring through the door and they run into the tank, please don't ever let that happen. But if that ever was to happen, they're going to be running into a 1-inch thick piece of acrylic glass. 1-inch tempered laminated glass. So the likelihood of breaking it is a lot less likely. And another big benefit is that if the outer pane was to get broken for whatever reason, there's another 1/2-inch thick piece of tempered glass backing it. So it could potentially hold back the weight, I would hope, depending on how I secure the glass in there. But hopefully we'd never break a piece of glass, because 1,500 gallons of water on the floor would take a while to get dried up. So I want to ask you guys, now that I got some people in here, what kind of questions do you have for me? Do you have any questions about the store, fish, how I got started, what I went through to get started, type of people I meet, stuff like that. Ask me anything. Josh, behave yourself. But yeah, I'm free and I'm open to meander. So what size is the cube tank? The cube tank right there is, I believe, 149 gallons. It's not exactly perfect. So 150 gallons. It is drilled with 5 holes, 2 drains, and 3 returns, or however you want to set it up. It's pretty cool. It does need a little repair. I could show you guys. It does need a little repair right here. So this right here is cracked. It's just on the top. It's no big deal. You hit it with some Weld-On 4 and seal that right up with no issues. I did start to monkey with it a little bit. Move this overflow box out of the way so I can show you. So it was really, 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 really bad. Like, you can almost not see it through it at all. But I started monkeying with it a little bit and started polishing a little. And got to where you could see through it, but it's not perfect. It probably needs to be sanded down with some 1500 and polished a little bit more extensively. But it was just something I was doing on some free time. We still got Eric in here. How are you doing, Eric? You need to come up and see us sometime. Got our Aquashella poster hung up. This is really cool. I'll show you guys what I had my buddy do. My buddy owns a tent shop, so I told him I wanted a one-way mirror for my office. So he hooked me up with a one-way mirror in the office. I can see out, you can't see in. And we took that idea. We were kind of just, I was sitting here, I was bored, he wasn't here. But he had thrown a piece of scrap away in the trash after he was done doing it, excuse me. And I was like, hey, how cool would it be if I did it to a tank in the back room? So I tried it out, and it looked horrible. Horrible. The piece was all crumpled up from when he threw it away anyways. But it was just an experiment. So I told him what I did, and he loved the idea. So I had him one-way tint just the bottom, about 6 inches from the bottom up, all these tanks. So this one has to be resealed still, but it's tinted already. T'Challa's tank and the tank right here with the koi in it are done. And so what's awesome about this is when you're selling fish, let me flip you around so I can use you guys a little easier here. So when you're selling fish, you can see the fish behind the sponge filter. Or if it's hiding behind a rock, you couldn't see it, but now you can. So that is cool. That is really cool. So this one's really dirty. I still have to clean it. Still have to seal it. Let's take you to the back and show you what we see. Okay, so we are in the back half of that rack. So we did vinyl here. He accidentally scratched it. So he's gonna fix that. But look, isn't that freaking cool? This is the same tank we were just looking at. You can see a little reflection because I got some light coming through the top. But you can see the whole store from back here. Let me see if we can see our koi. Let's see if T'Challa will come to the back. Where you at, buddy? Oop, there's our discus. So it's pretty cool. Black vinyl on... How's it going, Holden? So... that's what it looks like. That one, I need to hurry up and get finished. This will actually be our saltwater setup once we're all done. But let me take you for a quick tour, give you a good overview of the whole store, of what it looks like. Here's our back rack, here's our gar. There's our beta rack, office, dry goods. Of course, we still have the green LED going for Corey. This is one of our smaller racks. This is kind of still being renovated. I'm going to decide if I want to change up anything on here. Maybe. We'll see. But this is our 20-gallon rack wall. The counter. And our 29-gallon shorter front wall. It's only short by 3 tanks, which is only 1 wide. Center, I got 1 reseal job left to do. Some other stuff for sale. And then this is our original 29-gallon wall. These tanks, I would say about 90% of them are all from my fish room, from when I had my fish room set up. Every one that's drilled is all from the fish room. So all these down here in the middle, this one, not that one, this one, this one, this one, are all original 29 gallons. The up top is all the original 20-gallon longs. The rack is all original from my fish room, except for the exception of the backer board. There wasn't a backer board, and they weren't painted black. And if you're ever in the store and you notice this, you'll know why now. These holes were filled in because the rack was a different width, or it was a different length. So you can see there's some holes that have been filled in because we've moved the board. We moved the legs. So this is a seam. This is all super, super structural, solid, even though it's not split between the 2x4. It's still super strong. We've got it glued and screwed, and then it's braced underneath with another board. So super strong. Let me see what that question was. Do I have any stingrays or marble coral catfish, Florida gar, fire eels, peacock bass, lungfish? So a lot of that stuff is not actually currently on our list. It is set to, some of the stuff is possible to get, but it's kind of like buy 2 things, pay shipping, wait a week, other stuff comes in, you buy it, you pay shipping again, wait another week or 2, buy 2 more fish, pay shipping again. So when it comes to large quantities of things that are in need, I try and find them all from one local source, so that way it saves both of us in shipping and in time, and we get the fish generally the same sizes that we're looking for. So I will get a hold of you, Holden, and I will let you know what we can get from certain places and see if we can get everything all in one shot. I know that there's a certain few places that do have some stuff that's available right now, but not everything. So here's our little water change shipping section right here. It's kind of dirty because I wasn't really planning on going live today. I just said, screw it. Let's see if my YouTube will let me go live, and it did. So here we are. This is water change system, water system. Keep all of our stuff stored down below, out of everybody's way. Free coffee. If you're ever here and you want coffee, it's free. There's chocolate, hot chocolate in there, and something else. So I think there's tea. So help yourself. It's a little coffee bar. And then if you want a snack, if you're going to hang out for a little while, we got a little snack bar. Um, yeah, so I guess I'm going to start getting this place wrapped up. Need a water change. I think I'm going to do something special with a water change kit. We've got them up for $9.99. They are Higer brand. They've got a little one-way valve here. You just shake it a few times and then it auto drains back. You can hook it up to a Python right here. It's got its own little on-off valve. Super cool, super convenient. They have two of these really long tubes here that you can actually make this twice as long. So it could be almost like 3.5 feet long almost. So if you have a really deep tank, you can get to the bottom without getting wet. But I think I'm going to do something fun on YouTube here to maybe give away a couple of these. I think that would be pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think. I like to give back. We got Christmas coming up here in a few months, so in a month. So we're gonna probably be doing a free tank giveaway, or maybe even multiple free tank giveaways, depending on who we can get to sponsor us this year. I know last year was Higer, so I may reach out to him and see if that's something he wants to do again. Maybe I can reach out to Fluval or someone really cool, a really nice company that, wants to give back to the community. That's what we're here for. We're here to help other people get into the hobby, progress in the hobby, learn more about the hobby, and share knowledge. That's what this fish family is about, is sharing knowledge, and not fighting each other or arguing or telling one store that they're better than another. That's not what I'm here for. I work with multiple stores. Greg with Sunset Corals, Something's Fishy in Clio, Blue Thumb. I'm constantly sending people everywhere else if I don't have it, because it's not about me, it's about my customer. And if I don't have it, I send you somewhere that could potentially have it or I know has it. So I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I know a lot of my new subscribers are local because we have a little thing like what Corey does. If you're a member of Corey's on his YouTube membership, he gives you a certain percentage off at checkout. So being that we don't have enough subscribers yet to be monetized to have the members feature, we just tell you if you're subscribed and you come in here and you buy some stuff, I'll give you 5% off. I mean, who doesn't like percentages off? So if you are buying an aquarium co-op brand and you're subscribed to Corey, or you're a member of Corey and you're subscribed to me, that's 10% off. Just for clicking a button. So I'm going to do more of these lives now that I'm aware that YouTube's going to let me do lives now. This is my first one through YouTube, which is awesome because I don't have to use StreamYard. If I'm by myself, I might have to get on StreamYard to get on Josh's channel, which is fine. But yeah, I'm going to do more YouTube like this. I'm going to have to steal the stick back from Michael, and that way I can save my arm, make videos a little bit nicer. We did do a little bit of a video on a reseal today, but it kind of got cut short because I had customers and we started getting busy and I started having some friends come in to hang out, so they kind of stopped me from making the video. So I may restart over and do another one. I want to show you guys how I reseal tanks. And I do have one big tank left to reseal. It's going to be a full breakdown. It has been fighting me tooth and nail, so I think this one's going to be a perfect one to video and kind of show you like what could potentially happen. I mean, somebody who's been doing reseals for a long time, if I'm having a hard time, I can only imagine this is a tank that would have been sat at the curb for most people because they would have gave up and said, I'm done. But this is a customer's deal, and I got to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to video it and show you guys how I do them to maybe help you out and maybe save a tank from hitting the curb and saving you money. So, but for that, it is getting close to closing time. I want to say thank you guys who stuck out 45 minutes with me. I appreciate it. As always, I will do another one and I'll see you then. You guys have a wonderful night and thank you.